Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Wallow and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on this Monday, the 7th of February. Let's call it Restoration Monday. Oh, I hope. 60-some thousand still without power. I guess they're now readjusting and saying they think by Thursday, which would mean most of us lost power on a Thursday, 8 days of no power. I have no power still. I'm amongst the 60-some thousand. I know they're working around the clock. They're really trying to get this thing done. And if you don't have power, I can relate. I feel for you. It's depressing because you don't feel like you have a home, right? So that stuff is tough, but hopefully it'll get better and better and better. There will be a bunch of people that will get power back today, and then tomorrow the same thing, and hopefully by Thursday, everybody will have their power back. The Tigers and the Grizz picked on the poor city of Orlando. It's a good thing they got Disney to feel good about, right? All the tourism money that keeps coming in, because their basketball teams are terrible. Tigers took care of UCF in a revenge game. See, everybody was available. What a difference that can make. And then the Grizz crushed the Orlando Magic. They were really, I think after the first, 5-10 minutes of that game, it was over. Ja is just unbelievable. He's going to get a medal from me in a little bit. We do have medals today, and then on Mondays we sort of limit it to one guest. It's TJ Reeves. He'll join us in about 20 or so minutes. I'm going to give a medal a little bit later. This was like a staycation for my wife and I. We had nowhere to go, right? It's freezing. We spent the first night at home, and it was 40 degrees in the house. So we had to get a hotel room. We went downtown. And it was perfect because the Tigers played Saturday night, and we have season tickets for Sundays at the Orpheum. And Hadestown was in town. And fortunately, downtown's got power. Everybody's got power downtown. It was vibrant downtown. It's great. It was like, seriously, if you're looking and, in this pandemic, you're afraid to go too far, go downtown. Spend time at the Peabody or any of these new Hyatt Centric or the Westin or, any of these new hotels. Arrive. I think there's a thing called Max or Moxie or something like that. I mean, they're all new. And they're really cool. But the whole thing is the downtown scene is cool. I think so. I was really impressed. We walked around South Bluffs because one of my sons lives down there, and then we did the game, and that was fun because the Tigers really played like they should have played all year long. And then we went to see Hadestown. I'm going to give a medal a little bit later, so I'll probably save some of that. But the Orpheum has just done a great job of getting these newer musicals in that have just been outstanding. The singing, there's not a weak voice, and some of these folks were part of the original Broadway plays and then are on the touring thing, and it is outstanding. That is for sure. The Pro Bowl.
What a game, Dave.
Yeah, you liked it?
Kinda, not really.
Here's what I don't know. It used to be they actually played a little bit, right? Now it came down to, and I don't blame them for doing this, seriously, because we don't want injuries, right? And it's really hard to have a true all-star game, especially when the two teams still left have nobody on the team because they're preparing for the Super Bowl. But it was two-hand touch, really is what it was. I mean, if you got both hands on a guy, whoop, whistle blows. That's it.
And the defensive lines didn't even rush the passer at all.
That guy, Maxie Crosby, did.
A little bit. That was in one possession, it seems like.
He said, I don't know how to play slow or whatever he was. But once he touched a guy with two hands, that was it. Whistle, boop, end of story. 41-35. I was surprised there were as many turnovers as there were in the game, considering there wasn't any physicality.
A lot of jump balls, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But I'm going to give a medal too a little bit later to those that attended, because I was shocked. You know what? We love National Football League stuff, don't we?
It's Vegas too,
and it is Vegas. It is Vegas, but that was absolutely incredible that as many people showed up for that game. The NFL has hired another minority. The Miami Dolphins, your Dolphins, J-Mo, hired San Francisco offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel. So, it came down to Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator from Dallas, that everybody's raving about it. And I think Jerry Jones keeps giving him more and more money because he really likes him. And I'm sitting here going, really, why? Has even with a weapon like Dak Prescott, with two running backs like they've got in Zeke and in
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, yeah. They're not like knocking it dead.
It seems like a lot of Cowboy fans have kind of turned on Kellen Moore a little bit, but you're right about Jerry. They love him. He's been the head coach in waiting for forever now, since before they hired Mike McCarthy. Well, so I'm not sure what we're doing at this point.
And the other thing is, I mean, everybody's saying it's Sean Payton now. Sean Payton's going to get that job, right? Did you, by the way? There's a movie out.
I've seen it.
That is the movie about when Sean Payton was out because of Bountygate for a year.
Played by Kevin James, Sean Payton.
I know. A little heavier, Sean Payton.
He was in the movie, though. He played a janitor, and he wore a terrible-looking toupee.
I didn't realize that.
It was it's not the best movie in the world.
No, but it was
fun.
It filled an hour and a half.
Exactly.
I think it was a short movie. Is that true, though?
Oh, yeah.
That he went back and coached his son's high school team?
I can't imagine.
And
you know what? It might be.
And the way they portrayed the relationship between father and son, like they didn't know each other to begin with. I wonder how accurate all that stuff was.
Probably made for TV.
I think it was. But anyway, so I don't know where why Kellen Moore is just so loyal, but I'm sure he's getting paid. That's why he's so loyal. But anyway, so they hire Mike McDaniel, who had been the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. And, that offense has been pretty good. And there's no doubt about that. McDaniel identifies himself as multiracial. So one of his parents was African-American.
His father.
Correct? His father. Okay.
And he went to Yale, of all places,
yeah,
to
he's
play
a smart
football.
Guy.
Smart guy. So,
yeah.
And he's got, I don't know if you've heard him in press conferences. He is excellent. He's hilarious. He's just a witty guy, very bright. I don't know how good a football coach he is, but he kills a press conference.
Well, he obviously, Stephen Ross fell in love with him because he hired him. And, Stephen Ross clearly was going to have to hire probably a minority, considering the way that he handled this last Brian Flores incident where he's getting sued. So, anyway, actually, he's not getting sued, is he?
I think
it's the guys that were interviewing him. It was Denver. It was
New York,
the Giants, and that's the Bill Belichick.
No, Ross was
stuff.
included. Ross was included in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, back-to-back winning seasons, first time since 2003. It does seem pretty weird. So he now joins Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Washington's Ron Rivera, the New York Jets' Robert Saleh as the fourth minority coach. And I'm pretty sure the Texans are going to either hire Brian Flores or the real favorite now is their defensive coordinator, Lovie Smith.
Former Bears coach.
Well, he did a decent job with the Bears.
Winning record.
Well, not only that, he took them to a Super Bowl.
Right, with Rex Grossman as the quarterback.
Rex Grossman. That was a good defense. That's why. And that's what he is. He's a defensive coach. But I don't know. Lovie Smith seems to me a real reach when there's so many other guys out there that are minorities that could go. So here's a point I want to make, and I'm going to chat with TJ Reeves about this a little bit too. So under the Rooney Rule, I don't know if you're aware of this. This is another part of it it's never talked about. You get the interview, right? But if you develop a minority coach who becomes a head coach, you receive 2 third-round draft choices. So San Francisco, because they developed Mike McDaniel, will get a 22 and a 23 third-round draft choice just because they developed a guy, a minority, who became a head coach.
Good incentive.
How about really giving it incentive? Seriously. How about making it a first-round draft choice? Now, if you're an owner knowing you're getting a free one, right? And there's 32 teams, so now you're going to have 33 or 34, depending on how many times this were to occur. Just add another player. That team gets a second draft pick.
64 first-round picks.
Yeah,
That would be something.
that would be something. Well, you couldn't do that because you already got 4.
Right.
But that would be truer incentive than 2 third-round picks. If you were really serious and you say, you hire the guy, the team that developed the guy gets a first-round draft pick.
It has to just be the first time you're hired, right? Like the Texans wouldn't get 2 first-round picks for hiring Lovie Smith because he's already been a head coach, I would assume, right?
Right. Well, and not just that, but it's not the Dolphins that get the pick.
It's the Niners that get the pick, right?
It's the Niners that get the pick.
I see.
So that's why if you adjusted that to getting something to the team that took him, that might help you.
That might help something else.
That would really be, if you gave a first-round draft pick to the team that hired the minority coach, that would be true incentive.
I think they give them to everybody. The Niners get one. The Dolphins get one for everybody involved.
You know what? Here's what I do. The team that hires the minority coach gets the first-round choice,
Yeah.
and the team that developed him gets the second-round choice.
There you go.
That makes more sense to me. In the meantime, before we run out of time, let's do medals. I got a lot.
This is fitting music today, especially with the Olympics going on.
I know it. Olympics going to get a rush from me. I'm not giving one to Michaela Schifrin, though. I feel bad for her. She fell. You know, one of her strongest things is the giant slalom, GS. And, like, after the 5th turn, she fell. But they call where she fell, they call it the Ice River Slope. 29 people who were competitors in this competition all fell. They didn't finish their runs. So it's this man-made ice. These Olympics are, I don't know.
For the winter.
Yeah, well,
in Beijing.
It's man-made ice, man-made snow just about everywhere now.
Oh, is it really?
They're saying because of climate change that, like, of the 20 or 21 venues that have been used throughout history, like 20 of them or 17 of them, whatever it may be, would all need man-made snow at this point to be added to the real stuff. And it's almost all man-made stuff here. So competitors are complaining whether it's the ski jump or it's the regular downhill skiing or the freestyle with the moguls. None of them are happy with the snow. And in this particular case, when 29 of your world-class skiers can't finish a run, and the one who's favored to win, Michaela Schifrin, falls, not good. It's been a tough beginning here for the Americans in the Winter Olympics. But I'm getting back to medals here. 56,000 fans attended the Pro Bowl. 56,000 to watch a two-hand touch football game? That's crazy. Nuts. But they did in Vegas, so you get a bronze for me. I'm giving to one of my all-time favorite Tigers. I'm giving CDR a bronze medal just for coming to town. CDR wearing a hoodie with sunglasses, and what do they call that when your teeth are capped with diamonds?
Grills, yeah.
Yeah, he had a grill. The diamond grill. But he's got a diamond smile. He's still such a great guy. And I mean, people love him. They were lined up after the game to get a picture with him or get an autograph, and he was so accommodating just for being a nice guy. And because I like him, I'm giving him a bronze medal. I am giving away a silver medal to Tom Hoge, who wins the AT&T Pebble Beach. It's his first PGA Tour win. It's his first win and he's been a pro for a while. Since 2011, he won one on the Canadian Tour. And he went, I think it's like 285 events before he won another pro event.
That's what I heard this morning.
Crazy. So he gets a silver medal from me. I've got to give Ja Morant a gold medal. I'm giving out 3 gold medals today. I'm giving out one to Ja because Ja. Oh, these are the numbers for the last 10 games. 25 points, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 14 assists, 38 points, 35 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 41 points. Followed that game up against Utah with a triple-double, 30, 10, and 10, 34 points, 37 points, 23 points, 9 assists 2 games ago. And then against Orlando, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. I haven't done the numbers, but he's obviously averaging in the mid-30s. Unbelievable what he is doing, whether it is home or away. I'm giving the Orpheum a gold medal. They have brought in 2 new plays, both spectacular. Hadestown, the range of one of their stars, the character Orpheus, it's unbelievable how you can sing that strong. These voices are amazing. This kid was terrific. The whole cast was. Hadestown was outstanding, and then the one before that I really loved too, which was Come From Away. They're on fire at the Orpheum, and they got Tootsie coming up. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then finally, Joe Lunardi gets a gold medal for me. What, you say? Well, why would you give Joe Lunardi, the bracketologist from ESPN? Only because he actually has put Memphis in a category. That's why. And I'm such a homer, as you all know. So, Lunardi, with the Tigers being number 61 in the net this morning, he has them as the next 4 out. Now, listen, that's after the last 4 buys, the last 4 in, and the last 4 out. They're the next 4 out. It's a long way, but heck, you're in there. You're on somebody's bracketology. I give Joe a gold for recognizing the Tigers are about to make a run.
In the conversation, that's all you can ask for. My bronze is going to go to Mac Jones, who I don't know if I was more surprised. He was touched with 2 hands already, so the play was blown dead.
And the whistle blew.
But I don't know if I was more surprised that he could run 70 yards or his gritty dance in the end zone. I don't know which one I'm more impressed by. Either way, it gets a bronze from me. My silver has to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who scored 12 points in the first quarter. They were down by 20 in the fourth and ended up winning the game 98-85, outscored the Pacers by 20 in the fourth quarter.
Since you bring them up, you've always been high on the Cavs. You were the first ones to say they were going to be good this year, and I laughed at you.
They've played well.
And they just got LeVert for picks.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they're in the mix to win the East now.
Oh, they're buying, and then I don't know if they can win a playoff series.
Did you by any chance purchase a futures on that?
I should have. I don't know what I was thinking not doing that, but I definitely should have, looking back on it now at least. And then my gold medal goes to, you already said Tom Hoagie. Like you said, 11-year pro, almost 300 events before this win. So you know what he is, Dave. He's a grinder, which is a type of sandwich. And you know what his favorite camera angle is? The Blimpie, which is another sandwich shop. So my gold medal goes to Tom Hoagie. And then my other gold medal goes to Harold Varner III, who won on the Asian Tour this weekend with a 94-foot eagle putt to beat Bubba Watson. Unbelievable
94-foot eagle?
94-foot eagle putt to win the tournament. He lost his mind, obviously. Tommy Fleetwood he was paired with him, couldn't believe what he saw, and like you said, he beat Bubba Watson to win that tournament.
94-foot putt. How many breaks to it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it had to be a two-breaker at least.
Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. It definitely broke left. It might have broke left the whole way, but it was unbelievable putt. Tracked the whole way is incredible.
Man, I'm going to have to Google that, see what that looked like. That is terrific. But believe it or not, that's 2 weeks in a row where on the PGA Tour with decent fields, not the greatest. Phoenix is going to have a really good field. There was a good field, obviously, at Pebble Beach.
Absolutely.
And that's 2 weeks in a row that a first-time PGA Tour winner was able to succeed. Luke List the week before, and I think Luke List is like 37, and this kid's in his 30s, Hoagie.
And Luke List competed to win this week, too. He was in the top leaderboard.
Was he really?
Maybe a second page.
He was definitely second page. Definitely second page. All right, I have a rust for Alvin Kamara, who's at the Pro Bowl in Vegas and gets himself arrested after the game because the night before, it wasn't late at night either. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He got into some sort of a fight in a bar, and he was arrested for battery with substantial bodily harm. Woo.
Sounds like some kind of fist fight.
And then, the women, the Winter Olympics. I really wanted I love the Olympics, but I'm having such a hard time just because of China with, they shouldn't have even been given these games and all the stuff that's going on. And the man-made snow because they don't have enough snow. I guess that's not really, well, it may be their fault because they're a big part of the climate change. But there was a hockey game between Canada, one of the favorites, and the Russian hockey team. And the game was delayed by over an hour because they could not get the results back from the Russian women's team's COVID tests. And finally, they said, okay, we got to play the game. You'll all have to wear masks. So they wore masks during the game, and in the third period, finally the test came. So the Russian women took off their masks because they were all good. Canadian women said, we don't trust the Russians. We're keeping our masks on. And the Canadians won 6-1, so it didn't bother them at all.
They thought something fishy was going on there.
Yeah.
My rust goes to Daryl Morey, who is now the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers.
He has been for a while.
He has been for a little bit. He is now, they're in talks to trade for James Harden. And I found out through some reports this weekend that it's being said that all of the leaks in the media thus far, apparently he's been on wanting to trade for James Harden for a while now with Ben Simmons. And apparently all the leaks where you see James Harden wants out of Brooklyn or wants to go somewhere, those have all been leaks from Daryl Morey talking about it. And it's also reported this weekend that he either wants to trade Ben Simmons with a first-round pick and either Tyrese Maxey, who you saw against the Grizzlies with an incredible point guard, or Matisse Thybulle, who's one of the best defenders in the league, a really young player. And I just can't – enough with Daryl Morey wanting James Harden. If you haven't won at this point – I know you've never had Joel Embiid on his team, but if you can't win at this point with James Harden, give up on the guy. I mean, I don't understand what Daryl Morey's deal is. You got two great young players.
He wants to get rid of Ben Simmons.
Want to get rid of everybody.
If he can get James Harden and get rid of Ben Simmons at the same time, I'd be going after that as hard as he is too.
I'm tired of Daryl
I don't think
Morey.
At least he got himself in trouble, right, with Chinese government,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And when he was with Houston.
And when he was Houston.
He gets himself into some controversial positions, that is for sure. And those are our medals. We're sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Floor model sale still going on. Don't forget about that. And I want to let you know, like on the pools and the spas, they're still giving you that discount, like the floor model sale, even with the new ones. So go see all our friends at I-40 and Whidden Road. Family Leisure, where family and fun and the floor model sale are all coming together. And we should let everybody know our title sponsors, Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. And in terms of what I think is the standard for car business, they've said it. They've got that bar rising so high. And Chris True likes to say, if you come see him and you're looking for a new car, you'll never pay more than sticker price. Other dealerships sort of are taking advantage of shortages. They don't do that. At Homer Skelton Hyundai, right there at the very first exit, Highway 78 and Craft Road in Mississippi. Turn left. You'll see what I'm talking about at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Back in a minute, to Tampa we go. Our friend TJ Reeves is right around the corner.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale, and you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Witten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure. Valentine's Day is almost here, and you know we have a tradition of going to Dinstall's, and we're doing it again this year, but virtually. We will be giving you 14% off on February the 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. if you go to Dinstall's or call and order your chocolate-covered strawberries. They're back. Head to Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, downtown, or where they make the candies. That's Pleasant View. Say Sports 56, and on February the 8th, get 14% off at Dinstall's.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. The NFL season all comes down to this. Super Bowl 56 with the Rams taking on the Bengals. To celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking all customers up with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Already have an account? To qualify, just place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl kicks off. New customers, join today with promo code GASMAN to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 in cash. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund is $5. Unless otherwise specified, restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
She's a good girl, loves her mama.
Welcome back in on a Restoration Monday. We hope power coming back for most of you. It is brought to you in part by James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. I don't think they have power today, so don't go there today. Go tomorrow or the next day. They'll all be there, and you know this is the one place you can go to get the best custom-fitting pair of pants or shirt ever. It's the Stance System and the only men's store, truly the best men's store. The only men's store in all of Memphis is in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, James Davis. They're the only ones to have this Stance System where you, for pants, take 2 measurements and out comes the perfect pair of pants in about 3 weeks. I mean, good looking and good fitting and a really fair price. And the shirts, you take 3 different measurements and voila, you look great. I'll tell you, it is terrific. And won't be long. We'll be getting the spring fashions in, but if you're looking for a sweater or something to keep you warm, even a pair of gloves, nobody can beat James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. It's not cold in Tampa. No ice storms there that I know of. You're probably playing golf today, TJ Reeves.
I am not on the golf course. I am empathizing with everybody in the Mid-South, and you know I have relatives and friends that are there, not only in Memphis, but in West Tennessee, that have been affected by this. And you and I did chat briefly off the air this morning, and I'm glad that you are better. I'm glad that it looks like you will be getting power soon. And you cracked off a great one-liner to me about the Peabody, where you've been hanging out. You've been talking about that on the air, I know, to do the Tigers game and all of that, because I didn't know this either. Did you already share the line with the audience, or do you want to share it now about the Peabody?
I did not know, but I will let everybody know. The Peabody Hotel is pet friendly. There were 50, 60 dogs. I'm not making that up. That were roaming around the Peabody in the bar, in the lobby. I was worried about the Ducks, to be honest
I
with you.
figured.
I'm going
pet friendly, yes, on the Ducks, but you said dog friendly, and that made me concerned slightly for the Ducks.
A few accidents here and there, but they got people who quickly clean those up. But here's the first thing I thought about was, the Ducks are up in their own little quarters, way up near the roof. That's where they stay most of the time. But what is it, like 10 to 5 or 9 to 5 that the Ducks come down and they're in the fountain in the lobby?
Right.
I mean, who's protecting the Ducks from the dogs?
And there's several more punchlines about who let the dogs out in that song and all kinds of different things. I'm glad that people have shelter somewhere to go, and good on the Peabody that they're allowing that. This has got to be a chapter in the memoirs in the Wolo book.
Oh yeah, well, we've had
the
a
weekend
few
that you spent, Tiger game included, at the Peabody with Gail and Who Let the Dogs Out. That is, I am titling that the chapter of the book.
There you go.
Upcoming. Who Let the Dogs Out.
We just do a whole chapter on a thing on storms, because the '94 storm, I was out for a long time, and I had 2 young kids, and I was doing a bunch of games for ESPN back then.
I remember.
I was traveling. My poor first wife, she was stuck with kids, and we had no place to go. She took them over to friends, and it was crazy. And we didn't have power for a long time that time. And then the Elvis storm, I had 2 houses that were affected by Storm Elvis.
Wow.
That was crazy times. I was in the midst of selling a home that I had agreed upon terms, and we were waiting for closing, and a tree went through the roof. I had to fix everything, and the guy was trying to get out of it. Oh, he was crazy. So, and now this is the third one. Who knows how long? So far, this one's been cool because we had like a downtown staycation. So, but it is depressing.
And you got a big Tiger win Saturday,
too.
That helped.
That was huge. I really think, TJ, and I do look at this through Tiger-colored eyes, but this is the team that was supposed to be here to begin with. You got your players now. This is when he went on his rant and his rave, talking about the losses earlier. Like the first time they played UCF, they were missing 5 guys. When 4 of those 5 guys are back, guess what happens? They win by
different team.
They win by
a different team.
28, and now they like each other, and they're passing about 20 assists on 35 buckets made. I mean, there were a lot of good signs, and they played really good defense. They held, poor UCF. I mean, they could not hit a shot. They ended up shooting 30% for the game.
Yeah, and again, it was a good tonic, and let's see if the Tigers can build on that. I mean, I watched some of the Houston game last night. I know that's looming for Memphis down the road. They were playing Cincinnati and just beat the daylights out of them, even without, Marcus Sasser's out for the remainder of the year, and they're still rolling along without him.
And Tremont Mark is probably their second best player, the young guard. So, that Calvin Sampson, you got to give him a lot of credit. He has really reinvented the way he's going to play, and he's gone bigs. He's stayed physical. He's done a good job, and they haven't lost a game. Okay. Are you shocked that 56,000 people would attend the Pro Bowl in Vegas?
No.
You're not?
For a couple of reasons. One, it's the NFL and what they grabbed. And 2, it's Vegas, and it's the first time that it's there. And so it's obviously an entertainment tourism capital. So, no, it doesn't surprise me. And plus, it's a new stadium virtually because the fans weren't in the stadium a year ago.
Right.
This is the first year to go and see it. And so, no. Now, as a follow-up to that, even with the understanding that I worked for an NFL team, the Buccaneers, further, there were, 7 Buccaneers, I believe, that played. Tom Brady had been selected and did not play, and Tristan Wirfs, the outstanding offensive lineman, obviously was hurt for the playoff game with the Rams, and he didn't play. But I think there were 7 Buccaneers that played in the game. Other than a couple of highlight clips, I can't watch that anymore, my friend. That is not football. That is over-glorified two-hand touch.
Yep.
Did you watch some of this? Have you talked about this? I didn't get to hear the beginning of the show.
No,
did you try to watch some of this?
I did watch some of it, and honestly, I said it was like two-hand touch. That's exactly how I described it.
I've been around you too long, for too many decades, yes.
And I don't know what you do. TV
you stop playing the game.
Well, you could.
Stop playing the game.
But wait, TJ, you're not stopping when you get 56,000 people, and I haven't seen the TV ratings, but I'll bet it did a number.
It probably had several million people that watched. But you're hurting yourself, I think, overall in the long run. First of all, they didn't have it in the COVID crazy times of 2021 still. They didn't have the game last year, and I don't remember anybody missing it or caring. The second thing is on the argument about, well, you got player bonuses, incentives for making the Pro Bowl tied to it. Okay, find another way to reward them then on the voting and on the scale.
Well, you could still
come up
name
with another
them.
creative way to have a more competitive game. Remember, you and I are old enough. Remember, they used to play the college all-stars as part of the Pro Bowl. Now, that's way, way back. But there's got to be another creative way than watching guys go 20% effort, not even trying to run after each other. Nobody's trying to block each other. It's a joke. That game
I don't think
is a joke.
They've played a true all-star game, honestly. Well, they didn't play that college all-star game since the 70s.
Right.
But
you go back and watch Pro Bowls even in the 90s.
Yes.
And when the Buccaneers played with 7 or 8 guys, the last time was after the 99 season, the 2000 Pro Bowl. And I remember not only watching that for all the Buccaneers there, but they've shown some video here on local TV, and it's on the internet. You can always go on YouTube and watch highlights and search games and whatever. You watch the hitting. I'm not saying that it's got to be all out, but there was blocking, there was hitting.
Yes,
even as recently as 20 years ago.
They were much better. I'm with you. Look, I have no care whether that game is played or not. I'm just saying it's not going to go away when you got 56,000 who attend and you're making money from it and you're getting a television number because that's product that they want to sell, and it's all part of the deal. I guess it's never going to be in Hawaii again. It used to be a real – guys wanted to go because they could take their wives. It was like a reward for the players' wives.
Yes.
And they did get bonuses. You could still give them bonuses. You name them all pro. That's all.
Well, and they would have the Super Bowl teams and players that had just played in the Super Bowl the previous week come out there and play, and that game had extra money because the money was not so astronomical to where you got a win bonus if you were the winning team, the AFC or the NFC. And so it was a different deal. And you're right. It was the week after in Hawaii, like a pre-planned vacation for everybody.
Right.
So they've had to adapt and adjust, but it's got to be better. It's got to be better than what that was. Yesterday.
I'm with you. And they don't have a place in Hawaii to play right now either. You know, that stadium was condemned. And, if the NFL was really serious about keeping that game there, they would have paid, because it can't be that. I mean, they could afford to invest $20 million and refurbish the thing, but they decided they weren't doing that. So I'm assuming we're not going to see it in Hawaii for a long, long time. Yesterday, the Dolphins hired the San Francisco offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, who is he identifies himself as multiracial, so he becomes a minority. He's the fourth now. And I don't know if you're aware of this ramification. I talked about it a little earlier, that if you develop a minority that becomes a head coach, you get 2 third-round draft choices. So the Niners, because Miami hired their offensive coordinator, will get 2 third-round picks because of the Rooney Rule. So we've been trying to figure out ways to really legitimize the Rooney Rule and to make an incentive to hire a minority. I didn't realize until really this story that there's a giving of draft picks through the Rooney Rule. So if you really want to be serious, you can keep 1 second round for the team that developed the coach. But how about the team that hires the minority coach getting a first-round draft choice?
Well, there's all kinds of different bonuses you could do. And, the other half of and I was aware, yes, you do get a pick or picks for developing a coordinator that ends up getting hired. But on the flip side of that, and we could go for another 20 minutes, and I know you don't have it, but the flip side of that is what's the deterrent, what's the punishment if you don't follow through? For example, just naming names, the New York Giants have never had a full-time black head coach in their history. They've had one instance where there was an interim head coach that was black. The New York Giants, singling them out, have repeatedly hired white, unproven offensive or even a defensive coordinator throughout their history in the last 20, 30 years, in and around Bill Parcells and the Super Bowls and Tom Coughlin and the Super Bowls. They've repeatedly done it. They have had opportunity after opportunity in the last 10 years to hire a qualified black coordinator to be in New York and haven't done it. So as an example, you should set some kind of deterrent that for every coaching cycle where you've made a coaching change and you don't hire a minority coach and you've never hired a minority coach, there's some kind of penalty. There's obviously not a big enough ramification, especially fining teams, to where that matters. So they've got to come up with some kind of deterrent as well. Otherwise, it would not continue happening. And by the way, there are several other NFL teams that have never hired a black head coach. The Cowboys are one of them, by the way, with Jerry Jones, who's arguably the most powerful owner in sports. So there's got to be a deterrent, is what my point is on that, to also make it effective. Because right now, whatever the deterrent is, that isn't working well.
I think try the incentive first. Because, well, you might be right about the deterrence. I'm not putting that down. But I do believe if you put the caveat, and you're an owner, and you're saying, they're going to give me an extra first-round draft choice. And you can, so instead of 32, there's 33 or 34, 35, whatever happens with that. But if you're saying, I hire an African-American, and I know there's plenty of good ones out there, I get a first-round draft choice. That incentive for me, if I'm an owner, I'm going, that's pretty good.
Two more points real quick. The Houston Texans are apparently on the verge of promoting Lovie Smith, who's been the defensive coordinator, to be the head coach. I obviously worked with him for 2 years here in Tampa Bay. He coached your Bears into the Super Bowl. So obviously that's not the worst thing that Houston could do to try to stabilize things and figure out what they're doing with Deshaun Watson. And it would also serve a purpose, which is saying to the rest of the NFL and everybody that's after this issue, okay, here is a coach being given another opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL. But for some of these, the arguments that I keep hearing, and again, I know you got to go in a second. We're not going to talk for 25 more minutes about it. But the arguments that I keep hearing is, well, maybe this guy doesn't interview well. Eric Bieniemy, for example, in Kansas City. All right, maybe he doesn't interview. Well, you can't tell me that all these different guys that are getting the opportunities are great interviews. In case after case after case, the last 2 or 3 years, where a white, unproven offensive coordinator has gotten an opportunity,
right? What
and
about
the enemy has not
Tampa?
gotten an opportunity. They couldn't have all been great interviewees, is my point. There are plenty of qualified former coaches. Jim Caldwell is one of them, who had success in Indianapolis, who would love another shot to be a head coach, and has interviewed in several of these places and can't get the opportunity. So here's the second real quick part. Unlike the NBA, and you're in an NBA market, where there are a far greater number of team presidents and general managers who are black, who are more likely to say, I trust this candidate, I trust this former coach. There's not enough of that in the NFL. That's where I think the real issue has been and continues to be. Not enough in the upper management, not enough in the general manager role to do the hiring.
If I were the Texans, and Lovie is a good veteran, but Lovie struggled after the Bears with you guys. Lovie went to Illinois and was awful.
Had basically one good season, correct.
So why not give Brian Flores a chance? Why not give Bieniemy? Why not your guy, Byron Leftwich, a chance? I mean, it's and I'm not putting Jim Caldwell down either, but those guys have had their chances. I would give a guy who's younger and hasn't had the chance a chance first. Now it's up to the owner of the Texans to make that decision, and I'm truly happy that he's. Either direction it seems to be that he's going in the candidates that we've heard. It's either going to be Flores or Love. You're going to get a minority candidate. But I wouldn't go with retreads over guys that haven't had their shot. That's just my opinion.
Well, in Byron Leftwich's case, he's obviously hanging here because the Buccaneers are still loaded talent-wise. I don't understand why that Jacksonville opportunity, which was perfect for him, as a former player, as a successful former player, to kind of reunite the fan base and work with the star quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, which is his specialty. I don't understand how that one didn't come about. Now, they did hire a former Super Bowl winning coach in the end in Doug Peterson, who works with quarterbacks, and that's his specialty. So you can kind of understand that one. But you're right. Flores is radioactive from the lawsuit, but definitely still qualified after 2 winning seasons to maybe get another job. You've got Todd Bowles down here, the Buccaneer defensive coordinator, to maybe get another job. You've got qualified guys, Eric Bieniemy and others, that just need the opportunity. And I think it's who's doing the hiring at the layer or the two layers right below the owner. That's got to be better, and that's got to change. And that's why the NBA has such a better record and so many more that are getting opportunities and a second coaching opportunity even after being fired. Their NBA coach after NBA coach getting a second opportunity, getting that chance. It's not the same way in the NFL.
I'm with you. Last thing real quick in about a minute. Are you amazed at the PGA Tour? 2 weeks in a row, first-time winner, guy in their 30s. That's how good the competition is in the PGA.
And guys that continue to win to make the Masters, by the way, including yesterday. And it looked like Spieth was going to have that one. This is a lot of fun, and that is a wild event, the Waste Management Open in Phoenix, the Phoenix Open.
Ooh.
It'll be going on this weekend with the party atmosphere. Let's see what happens there. And they eventually make their way to where? The Sunshine State, the state of Florida, at the end of this month. And in March, so I'm watching the golf.
Yeah.
I know you're freezing cold there, but maybe the golf will warm you up a little bit, and they'll be in Memphis before we know it too later.
Were you ever, when you were doing Sirius XM Golf, were you ever in Phoenix for that crazy thing?
I did not get to go cover that one because my colleagues fought like wrestling matches. Like Jerry Lawler would have been your tag team partner to get that assignment to be there.
Honestly,
for that.
I'd like to see
I never got in on that one. I've gotten in on some other good ones, but not that one.
I'd like to see that one time, just one time, because
especially the 16th hole.
Yeah.
The par 3,
which that's where I'd want to be.
Beyond what anything you can imagine on a golf hole, what it has become.
Yeah, well, it's a drunken party is what it is. Let's be honest.
For like 5 days, including the Pro-Am.
That's right. Thank you, TJ. We appreciate it.
Always great to be with you. Stay warm. Get the power back on.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. That is our friend TJ Reeves, where it's warm in Tampa. It's brought to you by people that bring you warmth. That's Conway Service, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and the free gas furnace. Well, that's what happens in January and February. They get slowed down because of the weather, and they still have stocked warehouses. So John gives stuff away. If you buy a standard, state-of-the-art Carrier air conditioning system, you get a free 80% gas furnace. And he just tries to incentivize you to do it because he's also going to throw in an April air cleaner, free, a 10-year parts warranty, that's on the house, and a free Nest thermostat, state-of-the-art. That's $2,000 in savings. And one more sweetening of the pot, he'll offer the system as low as $139 a month or 12 months interest-free. Anybody could do that. Take advantage. The free furnace, all the freebies, and the special price for 12 months interest-free. Just call 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. And this portion of the show brought to you by the Spirit Shot. That's my friend Eddie Connor's place. You got to restock, right? Weekend's over. You probably had to have some booze of some kind to stay warm with no power. He's the perfect place to go. He really is. It's centrally located right there at Poplar and St. Nick. He's got everything in the store. It's a little log cabin, right? You've passed it by a million times, right down from Clark Tower. 4848 Poplar. And you're going, what's in there? Everything's in there. Everything you could possibly want, from vintage wines and alcohol to middle ground to up-and-coming bargains. I'm telling you, you'll get educated if you go in there. And if you need a rim seasoning for a rim on your glass, he's got that. All the IPAs. He's got the wonderful St. Dominic spirits that are all local. Everything is right there at the Spirit Shop. We'll come back and put a bow on this show on this Monday of Wallow and Friends.
Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio, presented by Tito's Vodka, from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell here at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. You know it's February, and that's the month to show your love. The question is, how are you going to let your most special lady know how much you care about her? It doesn't matter if your favorite girl has been your wife for 47 years, or if you're just getting started with a relationship that you hope has real possibilities. Since 1985, Memphis gentlemen have been coming to Russell Brothers Jewelers to pick out that perfect gift for their sweethearts. gifts. Young men and older fellas alike. A ring or a bracelet, earrings or a pendant. Jewelry is always the best choice for her. Much better than candy that will be eaten in 3 days or flowers that will be tossed out within a week. Come see us at Russell Brothers. Let us gift wrap a present that will keep her smiling for a long time, and it's a present that tells her you care enough to give her the very best. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer, so we understand motorcycles. No, really, we have a bike translator.
Okay, so this bike feels like he's capable of a little more than just trips to the convenience store. Oh, also, he wants to let you know that you can buy a gallon of ice cream instead of a pint every time. Those are his words. So he said roughly like, blink the last wheel. It doesn't really translate, but the way he said it was super funny.
Get 24/7 roadside assistance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance subject to policy terms and limits and may require comprehensive coverage.
Get in the swing of things. Grab your friends, your clients, your employees, and go enjoy everything you love about Topgolf in a luxury suite while at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Topgolf Swing Suite is an immersive social experience offering guests a luxury private lounge to enjoy Erling Jensen's extraordinary food and beverage service, all while playing a selection of games in a one-of-a-kind simulation bay. Topgolf Swing Suites are great for work outings, celebrations, or just getting together. It's fun for the whole family. It's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. They have more than just golf. They have soccer, baseball, zombie dodgeball, football, and more. Located at 5069 Sainterland, adjacent to the Doubletree East Memphis. Check us out at SwingSuiteMemphis.com or call us at 901-58-SWING. Again, that's 901-58-SWING at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Book your suite today.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
It was a lot of fun at FedEx Forum, for sure, on Saturday night. But while the whole gang finally came back, there was news after the game that most of the gang that's supposed to come to next year, well, that's dwindling away. And that was part of it was from the decommitment from a guy named Noah Batchelor, who is a 3-star guy. He is ranked 223rd in the country, 6'6", senior in high school. And then he told a guy named George Michalowski, who put this on Twitter, quoting with the head coach, Penny, he barely ever reached out to me. It was really frustrating. My parents could see it too, so I just really felt it was best to just get out of there. Well, when I read something like that, and you're 223 in the country, and Penny's already said he's changing his whole sort of philosophy, looking more to more mature guys, older guys from the transfer portal, that a lot of this could very well be that he really was sort of not recruiting you anymore. And it's a long way to signing day. You can be a commitment, but until you sign, you're not really a commitment. And again, there is a long way to go. But J-Mo, you know, as a former college coach, that's part of the strategy when you become disinterested in a person.
It's the way it goes, and it's a cutthroat world, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, so that's 3 guys who've decommitted, but one guy was a 5-star guy that's going to Texas. That would be the one area where I think, Penny is going to change the way he does it. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if he still wants one 5-star guy that he knows is going to play hard. But
you got to have the experience, though. And it seems like Penny might know that.
I think especially in this league when everybody's got 4 transfers, 6 transfers, 8 transfers, and they're all older guys. Final portion of the show brought to you by Old Dominick. Man, I walked right by 305 South Front Street yesterday. It's a cool place. If you haven't been to Old Dominick, it is neat. And they got that 45-minute Century Journey. It's a distillery tour. It's the only distillery tour in Memphis. You get a history of Old Dominick, starting with Domenico Canali. Then you get a lesson on the craft of distilling from grain to glass. I like the way they do it. And then it ends with a wonderful tasting. It's truly cool. 45 minutes. Or if you want to hang out in the bar afterwards, you can check out all the portfolio of Old Dominick spirits. And, by the way, you can go to any of your favorite spirit shops and find Old Dominick products. It is the hometown partner of the Tigers. It is all about Memphis. Share a sip responsibly. Share some Old Dominick. That'll do it for us. We've got to thank TJ Reeves. Usual show tomorrow. We'll talk with Jeff Moore about the Super Bowl. And tomorrow we begin our virtual remote from Dinstall's. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.